Awesome. All right, guys, good evening. Thank you for coming. We have a pretty cool event for you guys today. It's only going to be 1 hour. I'm not going to take too much of you guys' time, but I am going to go over exactly what we were promoting as far as NFTs. So if you guys want, for whoever is here, if you guys want to introduce yourselves and before first and foremost, let me start by introducing myself. My name is Christopher St. Prado. I am the Chief Executive Officer for MISLUX and St. Prado Incorporated. We deal with a lot of high-end luxury goods. Anything you can name as far as like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, luxury watches. We also deal with artwork. We deal with consignment items. And one of the I believe one of the cool things being involved in an industry like that is that we rely a lot on authentication. Now, authentication is something that we have to always promote when we're selling our items because we want to make sure that the customer not only owns an authentic item, but I mean, these items over time, they do tend to grow in value. For instance, I'll give you a perfect example. If you were one of the lucky people that were able to buy a Rolex maybe about 2 years ago, and I'm not going as far as 10 years ago, I'm talking about just about 2 years ago. Oh, as far as 2 years ago, I believe the Submariner in the resale market would be fetching anywhere for about $5,000 to $6,000. Now that we have a lot of changes in our market, the same watch is valued at a little bit over 15,000. So that's a triple value. So while you also see growth in NFTs, digital goods, you're also seeing growth in a lot of materialistic or tangible goods, especially luxury goods. So our job is, as a broker and an authenticator, we need to make sure that we reflect these estimates, authentication, and evaluations for the customers because they want to track their investments just like you do with the stock exchange, just what you do with crypto. And what better way than adapting the technology of the blockchain, such as a non-fungible token, an NFT, into the future by having a permanent receipt. So for those of the people that are joining us right now, we're talking about slightly of what my profession, what my background is in this crypto sphere, and how I've been pretty much involved with a lot of the projects that we've been doing with Ethereum at the moment. So if you have any questions at the moment as to what I do, I'd like to see if you guys want to take some time and maybe introduce yourselves, or maybe I do have a list. If you want me to add something to the agenda as far as NFT goes, we could touch bases on that before it's not going to get too complicated. I promise I'm not going to give you too much tech jargon. I'm just going to break it down so you guys get an understanding of the possibilities you guys could do with an NFT, so that you guys are not just thinking that NFT is just art. There's a lot more to it, especially because they're based on their smart contracts. Nick, here you are with us. What's up? You want to say hi?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, my name is Nick. I am friends with Chris. I live actually down here in Playa del Carmen. I do some investments in crypto. I have a property in Brooklyn and recently in Tulum. So I run Airbnb. And I'm excited to be here and see how this process goes.
Nice. I also noticed that we got Jay in the house. What's up, Jay? Let me unmute you.
What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Likewise, man. How's that? Hey, Jay just minted a children's book as an NFT on Rarible. So that's a pretty cool. He went over this with me. I don't know if you want a little bit touch bases on that, or you want to kind of talk about what you're doing as well with the NFT.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like in research mode. I understand like the grand potential it could have with like the smart contracts and how you can essentially program these NFTs to, like if something happens, then do this. It executes on the blockchain, and I'm just seeing a lot of potential, and I'm just trying to get in just to get creative with it. And yeah, I wrote a series of children's books, and I'd like to do something with it, like something something special, like a rare NFT for it or something like that. So yeah, man, thanks for doing this. And yeah, I'm just here to learn and to kind of just to gather ideas to see how essentially I can tap into it at some point. And I've been dabbling a little bit, just like I've bought into a couple of games, a couple of NFTs on the AVAX network. So I'm just trying to get into it.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, it's good. It's a really cool technology that we all have access to. So we don't have to be limited to hardware, and we don't really have to be limited to even creativity. We could harness that same power to create really amazing works of art, creativity works, and we could also use it for tangible goods. We also got Tony in the house. Tony, what's up, man? You want to introduce yourself? Oh, I think he's muted for right now. So let's continue. I'm going to give you right now, let's go over. Oh, he's back in. What's up, Tony?
All right. How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me, Chris, and putting this together. So my name is Tony Martinez. I live in the Mexican Caribbean in Tulum. I'm a real estate developer. I'm a crypto investor. And we're trying to actually fuse both things right now, which is the crypto space, the technology behind it mainly, and then how we can, through the works of NFTs, potentially be able to offer our products moving forward. We're already accepting crypto. We've actually recently closed a $1.1 million lot all on crypto. And my partners and I, we like crypto a lot. We accept it because of that. We believe in it. And so now we're trying to take it to a next step and tokenize land or, condos and sell it through that. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, if you guys, we have the chat room open. So if you guys want to maybe tag in or link a link from your work or your portfolio, since we're all networking and we want to share each other's projects, feel free to use the chat room, put in your contact information or link into your project here so that maybe we could take a look at it and then we'll go over it. So without further ado, I'm excited as you guys are. I'm going to show you exactly what we've been working on. I'm going to go base by base. I have a few steps and feel free to stop me anytime. If I mispronounce or if I mess up or you have a question, go ahead and just ask me. So welcome everybody else that's on there. We're gonna go over again, for the people that are joining us right now, we're gonna go over how to mint a luxury NFT. And keyword, I'm saying luxury because a luxury asset in real life does have value to it. So people are wondering, are we just limited to digital art? And how also can we pursue? Oh, I think I have a question. Hold on 1 second. I have a question being that I'm new to crypto as well. I have recently started a company of concierge services, and I'm wondering if there is a way to create an NFT for services or design. Okay, let's see. Dana, do you mean creating an NFT for services to create NFTs, or you wanted to do an NFT of artwork that you're trying to promote? I know they're two different things, but let's see.
I'm gonna hop on here for a second.
Sure.
I'm starting a concierge business, and as well, it's a service-based industry. I'm wondering, because I have a lot of design and platforms, if there's a way to create an NFT for a service or create an NFT for tokens or something, because I also want to do what Tony is doing. I want to be able to accept crypto as a form of payment into my business. And I'm wondering if I can incorporate an NFT into that.
Yes, most definitely. I'm going to show you right now one of the platforms that's the easiest to use, and that's called Rarible. Now, we could do two things. If you're doing a concierge service, what are the services that you're offering?
It's mostly based on high-end travel for small businesses, CEOs, but everything from transportation to travel to conferences to anything above and beyond.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm going to show you that because when you mint an NFT, you could also, within that NFT, as a first layer of the contract, you could unlock a link. So let's say if you want to make it the most easiest way possible, we could draft and design NFT, but within that NFT, when it gets issued to the customer, when the customer receives that NFT, they could unlock a link within that artwork or however you want to pretty much publish it, so that when he receives that NFT, that gives him the access to either do a checkout through Shopify or through ENS service or Ethereum. Since the transaction is there within, and then you just pretty much provide the service after they receive the NFT because they're kind of
and link it into the crypto.
Correct. So let me give you guys a screen share and let me get into my server. Let's see.
I was listening to today, Chris, to what's this guy's name? Something Cuban. He owns the Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban. They interviewed him, and he was talking about NFTs. And they're like, yeah, I see you're super into it. Guy goes on to talk about having over 80% of his money today in crypto, right? So that speaks already highly of it. But then he goes on to talk about how he's already doing NFTs out of all the ticket sales. So let's say you buy the ticket for the season. He says that it's going to come with an NFT, which will be like a concept for that year. So he says, so even though our services, you're buying an entrance to watch a game, what I can do is give them art in addition to them purchasing their ticket. And so he says that apparently these NFTs, because of the emotion, let's just say, imagine you went to the championship. Imagine what that ticket would look like if you created an NFT. It'll have value, even though the game already went by, but just the art itself, which is art that was done specifically for that game.
You know what? AMC did that this last December for the Spider-Man movie. They issued NFTs to those of, I believe, the first 100 buyers or that pre-ordered tickets to go see the new Spider-Man movie. I believe they released their artwork as a Spider-Man. I forgot who did. I think the company or the blockchain. I believe it was Vivo or something, but. They were free. Keep in mind, these were free NFTs from AMC. They go through the onboarding process. You give them your wallet address, and then they send you in that picture. Now the resale market, it's funny because I went on there to see how they're currently doing since December. So we're only about a month and a half in, and they're going for about $8,500 for a free NFT that you got from AMC just to go see the Spider-Man movie. And that makes sense. That's amazing because for the legacy of time, while the blockchain exists, obviously nobody controls the blockchain, so you're always going to have that digital copy or that digital receipt that belongs to you. And yes, emotions and nostalgia plays a big part of it, does humans, and we like to kind of embrace memories or material goods one way or another. And I think that with the blockchain is a big possibility it has a lot of endless possibilities for, again, tangible goods with non-tangible tokens. So go ahead.
I have one more question. In my concierge business, sorry, you got my wheels turning and I just have to comment on it. Yes. I have 3 tiers in a concierge. Is it possible or is it fungible that I could do 3 separate tokens for my 3 separate tiers of services?
Yes. You could actually draft as many tokens. So let's say you have one service. You could do that single service. You could do the image. The important thing here is the token. So you don't have to get too crazy in the image that you're going to be drafting, because the important thing is that you're drafting is the smart contract. So within that, you could do the one service and then create 50 tokens or 100 tokens. Your only thing you're going to be paying is the gas fees to mint it. So as soon as that token is minted, again, you have 500 tokens, 50 tokens, 100 tokens, whatever you just choose. You decide, and each token can have an unlock code or unlock key, so that when you issue it to somebody as an NFT token, they can redeem it for that service.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, and I'm going to show you exactly kind of how. Let's see. Let's go back onto the share screen. You guys have any more questions? Anything?
I'll have some in a bit.
Okay, perfect. So here we are. This is my server. So basically, what we've been working on for the past 2 months is we have been doing what you call photogrammetry authentication of watches, collector watches. Let me pull out one here, and this is how the process for us to authenticate these items go. So if you see here on the window, we did a shot, which is a high DSLR 4K shot of this watch, which consists of about 50 pictures. If you can notice, the high resolution picture on this, I mean, obviously this is a single picture. Our algorithm in our machine learning system, what it does is analyze the watch to the smallest millimeter. So even this offset that you see from 55 to 50, it all gets recorded symmetrical. So you have perfection pretty much being scaled and measured through the software. Now the hardware side puts all the images together, and what that would do is it would create a sequence. This sequence is pretty much ready to be rendered into the 3D world. So obviously right there you saw only 5 seconds worth of video, but that's actually 50 shots. So I'll play it for you again. It looks like it's a video, but the amazing part about this is it's not just a video, it's a collection of images, high resolution images. So if you ever have doubt during the authentication process, like, hey, wait 1 second, I want to make sure, wait, the crown. So when you pause it, you can even see the fingerprints. You can see the measurements, you can see the lug nuts. Every single picture is 4K. I think they're upscaled to about 3,000 megapixels. So what our system or our software does, well, actually the hardware, after we go ahead and put it on our server, it analyzes the watch and we get the video. The video gives us full 3D resolution and breakdown of the actual product. So you're thinking, okay, once we have the master file set, we could, put it on Rarible. Let me show you another thing too, because the neat thing about creating an NFT that is for authentication purpose is you could also do artwork. Here is a rare Picasso book. This is a fresh release. This one, I believe, was printed in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can make it smaller. Can you guys see this? Oh, there you go. And I'm sorry because these pictures are so big that they get clumsy while you're working with them. So if you notice on here, you can see every single detail of the work of art. Something that you've bought, at let's say at an antique, estate sale, even a specialty auction. Let's say you own a Banksy. Let's say you own a Retina. Wouldn't you want to have your authentication attached to that ownership? So the services that we're providing is that not only are we 3D scanning and creating these NFTs, we're able to get the render out of this item. And for those of you who are familiar with digital real estate, like the Decentraland, not only do you own the NFT and the token, but you could also bring it into other platforms. So you could have your private collection. Or if you're doing insurance claims, let's say for whatever reason, something happened where the book got damaged, there was burglary, and you have to issue an insurance claim, then that NFT token can be used as a reference. It's not going to be used as the end-all be-all, but you just made the insurance companies work a lot easier, because not only do you have a certified blockchain NFT that belongs to this tangible good that you own, but it also gives them an idea of when the item was minted, so it does show ownership. Because obviously if you run this transaction through the blockchain, and it's going to show that this item was deposited to your wallet, so you have that ownership. So what we do is we usually mint 5 tokens per NFT. So for instance, for this book, we create 5 tokens. One is issued to the buyer that holds or owns the book. The other is hold on to us at Verify as an archive. And the other three can be used, one, to replace, let's say if you've lost your wallet and you're not able to retrieve that NFT, so we got your back. You know, we could go ahead and issue you one of those 5 tokens. But see, those 5 tokens are permanent. So we can't alter them, we can't delete them. It's pretty much almost like having a snapshot of that product, and from there having to have complete ownership. Now, that's artwork. What else can you do? What else can you put on the blockchain? You can actually do, if you're a big fan of high designer name goods, these are a pair of boots from Christian Dior. So you're thinking, Chris, like, why would I want to NFT my boots, you know, or my clothing? Because when they're a fashion staple, like such as Jordans, that's another thing. Supreme, it's pretty big. You want the nostalgia of you owning this piece of clothing. Even if you do rock t-shirts, vinyls, other luxury collectible goods that you could either hold into your private collection or promote or give out. I mean, it's up to you, it's your tokens, but what you're doing is you're pretty much assessing the product's existence, and you could put it into anywhere. Let's say you have a nice character in Decentraland and an emoji or a secondary character. By owning the 3D rendering, you could actually make it into a real item good that you could sell. So it's funny if you think about it, but let's say the Rolex that I just showed you guys and we minted that NFT, if you have the 3D rendering for that and you bought a plot of land, let's say in Decentraland, your character could be wearing that watch. That's a heavy floss. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's one thing that kind of literally blew my mind before when we were working with this. So let's see here. Let me show you another thing that's pretty cool. Okay, this is one of my favorite watches. Ooh, this is considered, I don't know if you guys are really that familiar with Rolex, but this is considered a Daytona. So it has the chronometry on there. And since we're already done with this photo scan, we could go ahead and upload it. So this is the watch that I'm gonna go ahead and mint in front of you guys so you can see the process. Let me play it back for you again, because I know it's super, super huge. Perfect. So we have the watch, we have the measurements, we have the information. So let's go ahead and mint it. So I believe the question was services. Oh, and this is the program that we use. We use Recap Pro. This does the photogrammetry, so you could literally do your own personal objects. So you have collector pieces, toys, shoes, clothing, whatever you like. If you have the hardware, you could do a complete scan, 360 scan. I would say maybe about 50 pictures is perfect, high resolution. And then we're gonna go ahead and upload it. So here is our beta account for the Verify app. If you notice here, we have 1 mint that we tested on here, the Narco Gato series. So, do you guys know what MetaMask is? Are you familiar?
Yes. Yeah, I'm familiar.
All right, perfect. So you have to connect. So if we go to Rarible.com, it's gonna ask you to sign up. But for those of you obviously that are familiar with MetaMask, you have to connect your wallet. So here you have your Ethereum wallet that connects to your collection. So from this collection, we can add on here. You know, we can make separate collections or we can make separate tokens, but let's see. We need to be connected to this website via MetaMask, or else we really don't have anything to upload. So let's create. I always go into the Ethereum network because it's not that I don't trust other blockchains, it's just that that's the most that I'm familiar with, and it's one that keeps on growing. So, okay, perfect. Single item, if you want to just do one item, one singular token, one piece of work, and that's fine if you have an artwork that you just want to make one-to-one. But we're gonna go with the multiple route, just because I think it's going to touch base on what was brought up earlier in regards to making offering services and doing multiple tokens for it. So we're going to be doing multiple tokens for a single item. Now, here we have the type of file formats that we could use to upload. PNG, GIF, WebP, MP4, MP3s for music. Make sure, and the max is 100 megabytes. Why? Because this is not going into a server, it's going into the blockchain. So let's go ahead and choose our file. So we'll go into our desktop. We're gonna get that two-door Daytona. Beautiful watch. Bam. That looks beautiful. All right, so right now we have it out for sale. So
Is that the art, Chris? I'm
yes,
curious.
that's the art.
That's the art. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's how the NFT is gonna look. So I recommend using a GIF. You could do MP4s, but I recommend using a GIF because if you do a video, it's not gonna showcase 360 as it is right now. It's gonna stay like the first picture is gonna be your first picture, but this just shows a little bit more flossiness. So we're gonna do a fixed price. Usually for the minting process, for these, I always set it at, well, for me, this is my personal, we do it at 0.15, so which is equal to around $500. The service fee is 2.5, which means that's going to be when the person that purchased the item, but we'll take care of that, is going to be deducted from the transaction. So we're doing 1.5 ETH. And here's the cool part. Here where it says unlock once purchased, and let's say I want to have this item for sale through Rarible and OpenSea, but I just don't want to sell the watch. I just don't want to sell the image. Maybe I want to sell the watch as well. Maybe I want to attach this NFT to the actual watch. So what I could do is here, we could add the digital link, just like a service or as a checkout token. So when somebody purchases this NFT, they have the right or the access to purchase the actual watch. So let's say I put in the checkout token for this watch. I don't have the RAR on this one, but let's go mislux.com/2door/receipt checkout.BP1. So now this gets unlocked when the person pays for this. So now if you're me, I'm charging for the service of minting it $500, but let's say we want to sell the watch. We're going to make the 1-to-1, and this watch is going to be sold for the price. So let's say we put it for 2.75, which is an equivalent to $7,925. So then we'll only make one. This is the price, and here's the unlock code. So when the person purchases this NFT, they have the checkout through the store that they could use, which is in this case MISLUX.com, and complete the checkout with this code, and the watch will get mailed out to you, and the token will get minted under your name. So you're thinking, okay, so what information am I going to put in there? So let's go ahead and go back to, since we're just minting it for ourselves right now. We're going to put it at $144. Yes.
Regarding that link, this is something you have to set up on the back end on the URL side where you have a website.
Yes.
Specifically for
yes. Let's say
it purchases a watch and it sends it to this guy with the NFT. Is it that whoever buys it, this NFT? How does
yes. And I'll give you an example. Let's say this code right now that I created. Let's say you own a Shopify store or your actual web store. It could be eBay. Well, no, not eBay. Let's make sure it's your store, your e-commerce store. So right now, let's log into my Shopify account. So we're gonna go into admin apps. And this is a pretty formal way of doing it. So right here we have our products. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the back end on this. Let's say we have the products here. These are all the products that we have currently in stock. But I'm gonna attach that code, this checkout, for this watch. So if I go to discounts, we're gonna create the discount, and it's gonna be a discount code. So that code that we just copied, or we made, which is the verify code. Verify codes, I have it here. Give me 1 second, just so you get a perfect idea. When we authenticate any item, we issue a personal serial number that's an internal serial number. So for instance here, we go to the Daytona, we open up the information. Here is the authentication code. So we're gonna make that into the discount code. So we're gonna copy our internal authentication code. We're gonna go back into the discount code. We could paste it. Remember, this could also be an Airbnb. Say you hosting Airbnb and you could use your Airbnb code on here, so they, you know, that NFT for the event, let's say Super Bowl NFT at my location, you know, you could go ahead and issue the discount. So what's gonna be the type of discount that you're gonna provide for this purchase? So what we'll do is we're gonna have a fixed amount, or we could attach the product, specific collections or specific product. So since right now here, I don't have the two-door listed on here, we're just gonna put a random item. Let's say right here, the Jordans. And this is for the sake of the example. So now I have attached this serial number to this product. So now that the discount is existent and it's saved and it's active, now if we go back in here and we issue that discount code that we just, there you go, gave it, when now, since it's one of one, it's no longer a collection, it's a single purchase, this NFT is attached to this purchase on this website. So now when the person buys this NFT and issues this code or goes into the site, you just ordered the watch. It's gonna get shipped out to you. You're gonna have the transaction sent to you through the blockchain, and now you have complete ownership. Now, on here, you also want to add more information about the watch, because I mean, I just don't want a picture of a watch. What am I buying? So here is the information that our algorithm and our systems pulled out for the watch. We have the complete information of what this type of watch is, what the machinery is. So we're gonna put this here on the description. This is what you're getting. So you have the serial number, here's the title. Let's cut that, and we're gonna put this here. And you notice that it says right here, redeemable t-shirt with logo, so you could also redeem t-shirts. I believe Jay was also going over with this NFT. You could also, you could do your collection redeemable, so when anybody buys that NFT, you're allowed a physical copy of the children's book. So that's how you could ship it out when they purchase it through here. So now that we have the Tudor Prince Oyster, we have the price set. So we're gonna ask for 10% royalties is usually what they ask. That's the means that if for any trade for this token, after the issuance, you're gonna get 10% of that transaction. It's, I mean, it just depends on what you're selling. I mean, for us, we would just probably put 5% just to manage. But I mean, for other people that are doing a big single piece artwork, let's say you're Banksy and you decided to do an art piece, then you could charge up to 20-30% royalties on any transfer rate. So let's say it gets sold for 5 million down the line, and 2 years from now, at least you're set as an artist because you're collecting royalties from that artwork, or you know, that song or that track. You know, this way you're circumventing a lot of other third-party tiers that could get involved, because in the day and age now, we need to be able to own our own data, because using services like Dropbox, even Telegram, Facebook, obviously, that information that you're sending from point A to point B, when it exists throughout servers, you don't really own it, because let's say I send you this information through Google. Google could harvest this data, and then if they want, I mean, their terms of service is like they own it. They own that data. So that's not cool. I mean, the cool thing about the blockchain is now you own that data. You own that token. You own the right to what you're transferring. So here, we're only going to do 5% royalties, number of copies, and this is the good one. If you're doing a service, I mean, at least you want to do 50 or 100 copies, because this way you could issue each token to every customer and you have your unlock code if the unlock code is the same. But if it's only one item, then you maybe want to do just one item. But right now, since we're just doing the minting, we're going to do 5 copies. And then this is, like I told you, the reason we're doing 5 copies, again, is 1 for the buyer, 1 for the seller, and 3 extra for archival purposes. So let's show the advanced settings. So properties, here's where you could put sizes. Here's what you could put, let's see, what equals like size large is a medium, in case you are doing the shirts, and they get to pick whatever size they want for the t-shirts. And then here we have image description and details. And then right here for image description, I would also put the title, because it makes it SEO friendly, so it's easily searchable. Let's put our title. This way it's a lot easier to find. Okay, and let's go over the information just so you guys have a better idea. The movement of the watch, it's going to tell you the type of machinery, automatic, functions, minute, second, date, chronograph. This is the serial number for the actual watch. The year it was produced, 1995. The type of bracelet is a stainless steel bracelet. The measurements, you have the lug width, the case metal, and then you have the reference number, which is when the release was, what model watch it is. The type of dial, obviously we call it the reverse panda because it has 2 tones. Hands, trinium, and then this is the bracelet, it's a 2-door. And if you guys are familiar with 2-door, you know this is a Rolex watch. Because the casing, the crown, everything's Rolex. The only thing that's not Rolex would be probably the faceplate, but for those of you that don't know and want to invest into cool watches, keep an eye out on this brand 2-door. It's a heads up for you guys. They're gonna be getting big. Well, they already are big. So now we're gonna create the item. So let's go over it again together. The checkout, we have it set up already. So in case you want to do the purchase, we have single. Right here it says unlock once purchased. So what we're gonna do is it's gonna get minted when it's purchased, but right now we're just gonna officially mint them. Here's the difference between that. If you don't want to spend money minting the item right now, and you just want to put it into the Rarible database, so that when somebody buys it, it gets minted like the service, that's a good option. But if you want to mint them now, so they already exist in the blockchain and they're active, that's when you want to uncheck this. So make sure, because you're going to pay the gas fee and you're going to see me do that now. So everything's good. Information, we have the Ethereum. And you know what? Let's do 15 of these beautiful watches, because let's see how many people do we have active. If you guys want one of these NFTs, let me know. I'll send it to you guys. Because this will give you all the information. That's because this is a work of art. I would put this on a wall. So let's create it. Bam. Here are the easy steps. We're uploading the media. Now it's being minted. It's going to tell you, hey, would you want to make sure that here's the account number it's coming from, the value, the token ID, supply 15, and the token URL. Royalties are set at 5%, so we need to sign this with our digital wallet. Putting on sale.
I think it says sign message to set the price. I think you gotta.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Bam. Okay, cool. Awesome. your tutor Prince Oyster data chronotime chronograph has been successfully created. Now you can share it on Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, email, or just copy. But let's look at it. Let's admire. Now this belongs to you. So we have the information, you have the checkout. So let's say we want to transfer it, we want to send it to somebody. Here's the options. You could change the price, you could remove it from sale, you could burn it, which is cancel it, but you still pay for that. You have to pay for it to burn, because remember, you're deleting it from the blockchain. You're not just deleting it from like a trash can. And then transfer. So I don't know if somebody wants me to send them a copy. If you could put in your text, put your wallet, and I'll send you one.
Yeah, I'll send you my wallet.
Okay, let's see. Do you want to send it in chat, or do you want to just send it to me through Telegram?
I'll send it in chat. I'll get it right here.
All right, let's do it.
Send me the actual watch. I'll take the watch.
Ah, good one.
Give me your Telegram info.
Yeah, exactly. I said.
I know you guys are gonna try to take my watch. You guys are.
That's my MetaMask wallet address.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna send them one. Paste. Continue. And you get charged for this as well. It's gonna tell you the fee. Depending on what the gas prices are right now, they're not super exuberant. So right now it's gonna cost $50 for me to send this to Nick. Again, if you don't want to pay the fee, you could have the buyer cover this fee by doing a wearable token, just like I showed you. So we're going to go ahead and confirm this. And it's always good to kind of transaction send processing. So now you're going to see the time is usually anywhere from like 1-2 minutes it takes. And he doesn't have to pay for the minting because I already paid for it. But if you're offering a service where you don't want to pay for this mint and you want to have the buyer pay for the mint, you go ahead and do that. That's a lot way easier and cheaper, but we do it this way because we want to give that service to our customers where they don't have to worry about anything. We're going to go ahead and we get this minted for them. And the cool thing that now that you have your watch, now that you have your NFT, you're allowed to do whatever you want with our rendering, because see, our time and effort was put into the creation of this watch by doing the 3D scan, the high resolution information, the authentication, and the AI technology to pretty much authenticate it. So now you own that. That is yours. Let's see here. Nick, can you confirm if you did get that token?
Let me see. Let me go to earnings. Where do I click in my wallet on the browser?
On your MetaMask, no? That's what you used?
Yeah. Collections. I don't know where to go.
That, if you want, I think the easiest way to see your collection is if you type in that same address. Let's see if you have it on OpenSea. Because you should be able to see on there. There it is.
Yeah, I see it. It's in my wallet.
Haha. So now you own it. Now, if I want to buy this off of you in the future, it's like, hey, dude, you have that? I can make you an offer. You can also see here how it came out as variable, but you could change
Nice.
this. There you go, bro.
You got a 3D render NFT.
Yeah, bro.
My first NFT.
Yeah, there you go, man. So, do you guys have any questions? Do you guys want me to go over it? Because I know the process it's pretty simple, right? I mean,
Right.
it's not really like, it's not really
Rocket
like
science.
mind-bending, but
Like, they make it seem, or they don't make it seem, but you think.
yeah, you know, a lot of people are always going to put walls, gatekeepers that want to make it seem like, oh my God, like, no, you don't have the technology to make your own NFT. Yes, we do.
I saw something really cool the other day where the first house was sold as an NFT. So what they did was, my buddy Anthony sent it to me. I think he sent it to you too, Tony. Was they put all the paperwork as an NFT, so you instantly can buy the house right away. So the LLC, everything was just made into the contract, was just made into an NFT. And then you just buy the NFT right away. There's no other paperwork.
With everything, yeah, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
It's literally a Venmo. It's as easy as to buy this watch as to buy a house. You just bought the NFT.
Correct. Exactly.
May I have a question, please?
Yeah.
Chris, or you guys, Jaime from Chile. I'm just digging a little bit about the technology of NFT and been working with metaverse and all this stuff. But my question here is, if it's possible by the work that you did in this one, Chris, to do a one-by-one, to use this NFT to authenticate the proper Daytona Rolex that you have, the one-to-one, to just have, I have the NFT that proves that this is the same watch. Another watch can be done with this NFT, and this is the one watch that belongs to that. Is that correct? Can you do that? Can you use the technology for forcing, or do you have the technology right now to do that?
Yes. What we're using is we're operating with we're currently testing through PyTorch using TensorFlow. So what we're trying to get a little bit and kind of clean up our algorithm is to have these images get sorted out through machine learning so that it reads every single, let's say basically layman's terms, nook and cranny of the watch. It gets analyzed. So that record that we have, the output, the measurements, and the model exists within this contract. See right here, if we break it down to the essence where you have the description, we could also have the unlock link that unlocks the algorithm that was used to certify the watch. So this way you have access to that algorithm, and the cool thing about that algorithm is that you could use it mobilely through your phone. So let's say you have, this is a Panerai. This is a pretty famous watch because it's actually being used by special services or special forces in France. It is called the Special Reserve, and the cool thing is that if you have the app running through your server, you could scan the watch, and by it queuing the server where you have the algorithm, it could detect the measurements points to authenticate that for you. Now, when you do the transaction, it makes valid that you could draft the NFT for it, but then again, you also own the results of the algorithm to authenticate that watch.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, does that make any sense, or am I using too much tech jargon?
A little bit. I have this. No, I understand that the techie is done, but what is a forgery? It's been done the same measures.
You mean what? Why do we authenticate, or what do you mean?
No, I mean, sorry. If you want to authenticate one watch that is authentic, right, by itself, it's made by Panerai in this case.
Yes.
But some other people, like Chinese, do the forgery, or they do the same copy for the Panerai with the same measurement and the same colors.
Yes.
How do you go? Because one specialist can open the box and all this stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could open the box in person, but the cool thing about when you're doing an AR 3D scan of the actual genuine watch is that a lot of Chinese, remember, their job or their main goal is not to 100% replicate the watch. It's to make a knockoff look as good as possible. But like any other counterfeit or any other replica that doesn't come from the house that it's being made, you're gonna see a lot of errors. You're gonna see errors in the stitching. You're gonna see errors in the clasp from the outside. You're gonna also see errors in the dimensions of not only the lumen or the dial. And with that being said, when you say you put a fake Panerai, it's gonna tell you, wait, lumen's off, point negative, stitching is off, hand is off. This watch is not original. This watch is a fake. So the algorithm already has a library. So depending on how big the library gets with the inventory that we have, it's faster and it's easier to authenticate the watch for you on the go. So that would work also for like artwork. Let's say you have a Picasso, just like the book I showed you, we have a full 3D scan. After we authenticate it, if they're trying to make, if let's say they buy the NFT and they try to replicate it, the product with the NFT, it's gonna be pretty hard because you're gonna see that the ownership, and that's one thing that's really cool with the blockchain, is that through the ownership or through the ledger, you're gonna see where this NFT has been moved. So if Tony decides to give it to a Chinese company for their sake of replicating this watch, it's gonna see that Nick actually gave up rights to that watch and send it out to a different address. You check on that address, and if it shows what they have and what they've been dealing with, it's like, hey, wait a second, these guys are actually doing knockoffs. Now it's not going to be the same because even though if they have the 3D scan, they don't have the same machinery, they don't have the same access to the same materials. So you're probably going to have a less than 5% shootout rate where you're going to have errors, and that's going to let you know that, hey, this watch is a replica.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Someone from my YouTube said, I'd like to hear an idea on minting an NFT for a service-based business.
Kind of like the one we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, I mean, the service that we could provide, if we go back into the process, let's go back, let's create another one, let's go through the test. I mean, here you have 3 options of blockchains. You could also do this through OpenSea. And don't get me wrong, because see, right here on OpenSea,
so that's a question, Chris. Why is that showing up? You built it on Rarible. Why is it on OpenSea?
It's on OpenSea right now.
But I know, but you put it on Rarible.
Oh, because the blockchain, remember, this is Rarible is queuing out the Ethereum transaction. So Rarible.
Oh, and so it just automatically populated OpenSea.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I didn't upload it on OpenSea, and the reason I didn't use OpenSea is not because it's really that. It's a preference thing. I think it's a lot easier for this. So
Had to be Tom Brady.
Yeah, if you're barely starting out and you don't want to get too technical, I recommend Rarible. But if you want to break down certain things, like let's try it right now since we're signed in. Let's go ahead and log in. See, now we have the 3D model. We have audio and a video. So the cool thing, we also have 100 megabytes because again, it's going into the blockchain. But now we could add SVG files, which is a 3D rendering of the actual product. And then here we have the same. We get to do the title, external link. So going back to your question, Nick, with the service, the services. Can you tell me what kind of services that they're thinking about or they're trying to offer?
Say like a photography service. Well, not for the picture, but actually, I think just for the service.
They want to offer the service to mint the product, or they want to offer the service to sell a product?
To sell the service.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So let's say they want to do. I believe what were we touching base? Let's do Airbnb.
Okay. Yeah.
Do an Airbnb service. We could do the picture here of the actual place that you're gonna stay at, the nice front page picture, or you could do a 3D video, or you could do let's not do an audio. You could do even if you have a 360 camera, you could do the 360 video of the place. That's also possible. We name the location. Let's say you're gonna do the Tulum Agua Santa.
Yeah. Okay.
And then let's call it Agua Santa 13. Let's do the address. I'm not sure what the address is, but let's just put something basic. Okay, and then we're gonna offer 2 nights. That's the title, Agua Santa 2 nights. All right. Here is going to be the external link that's going to give the checkout. So if you're doing it through Airbnb, obviously you as a host could create a discount code for your customers, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's put that discount code, and I'm just going to type in what I feel that I think would be a discount code /.com.
Or maybe you have your own website and you're trying to pull it
Correct.
away.
Yes.
Maybe you're trying to pull it away from Airbnb, so you're offering.
You could do it as well. Yeah, you could do. Let's do it this way. You're gonna get it directly through Agua Santa, so you don't have to use a third-party Airbnb. And then you're gonna put, like, say, the username. Let's put whatever your username is, and then hold on one second. Right. Let's see here. The code will probably look something like this, so that when you use this code on the checkout, it's gonna book your reservation. Obviously, it's gonna ask you the days. You just know that you have tonight, and then on here you could put subject to availability. Let's just put that, and then here, 2 nights. Perfect. And now, is this a collection? Yeah, we could make a collection of this, because here what we could do, we could put the Agua Santa collection, which you could maybe showcase 2, 3, 4 properties. And then here's the unlockable content. Here's the access key to redeem the rooms. Or even the cool thing, you could do an AR code or an IR code that already redeems the code, so that when you go to the room, you open up your NFT and it opens up the room. So, perfect. We don't have to deal with explicit supply. Okay, we're gonna make 50 of these. Oh, we're gonna make various. But since I'm not gonna mint it, now that we do 50 of them, we have 50 NFTs that, when purchased, give you an access to 2 nights at your location, at your property, or to buy your property, or, you know, and that's how you could attach a service to your NFT. Let me close before I make it, and then I book a night in your place, bro.
I want to mint the artwork in my house.
Yeah, that's a great idea, bro. The artwork, if they buy one, could give you 1 night at the actual property.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Yeah, because you could mint the artwork, sell it for, let's say, I would put it maybe for half an Ethereum, which would be $1,000. No, $2,000, no, 1,500. Do it for 0.5 ETH. And whoever buys, do 10 tokens. Whoever buys this artwork is allowed for 1 night stay at the location in Tulum, which is pretty cool because it's kind of self-promoting.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet. I was wondering how we could do that. And then how do you take a picture of a graffiti? Like, how do you make it? Does it have to be high quality, or like?
Yeah, I mean, you could use a high 4K camera, which gives you the full resolution, or basically any DSLR. You can use a Canon, a Nikon, just get a good angle, and then after it goes into your computer, you could use Photoshop to clean it up, Lightroom, make sure everything's nice. You make the format. You could do the video, but I would suggest, given that it's the artwork, you could make the artwork as a front page, do the video, and do a 360 rendering, since you have access to that too. So people could see the location and be like, wow, this is really neat. Or you could just do the artwork. I mean, whatever creative means you want to get, the cool thing is that you could attach the service to that artwork.
It's insane. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, dude, I actually, just like you thought, yeah, it's a really good idea. It's pretty smart. So let's see here. Let's go back onto Verify. So basically, we're just going to touch base. We're going to give you guys a little bit of overview of what we touched today. We went over the blockchain authentication. So we do use machine learning for asset authentication, for tangible goods. And, you know, it also helps for smart contract deployment. I mean, you could do anything from luxury assets, collectibles, investments, as well as NFT digital goods. Now that you know how to deploy it, you could literally grow your collection, and not only that, you know, keep working on certain projects, and you're not staying away from it. I mean, you're going to be more involved. The more involved you are into this, the more you're going to get a way better collection, because now you can move your NFTs into Decentraland, Sandbox, the Metaverse, or just smart chain contracts like Nick was saying about purchasing a property. So you have your luxury assets, you have your artwork, you even have specialty NFT tokens. And then here's another one that I'm proud of. You have rare release shirts, and this is one thing that has been growing pretty big recently, which is collecting old school rock t-shirts or vintage concert shirts that do fetch a premium. For instance, this shirt right here, I believe at the time when it first came out, I don't think it was more than $40. Right now, this particular shirt of Eminem is trending at about $600 to $700 in the resale market. So you can make the NFT token for it like we just did. We did the 3D scan. We did all the measurements so we could authenticate it. As you can see, it's a single stitch. And from there, when you purchase this token, again, you have access to get the shirt. So you have the actual shirt. So not only do you own now a piece of your nostalgia, but you have an NFT token that attaches it to you so that you could bring it into your own private digital real estate. And once you import it here, I mean, however you build your office, your escape into the virtual world, as you can see here, you could host your own NFTs. I think Snoop Dogg's doing some cool things with that as well. And all our products, if you're familiar, are being curated by MISLUX. So everything goes through MISLUX. From there, after the item gets authenticated, it gets certified. Depending on what the product is, or if the customer wants it, we could go ahead and do the NFT for them. We mint it, and we give them the copy.
Chris, I have a question for you. My name is Chrissy. Thank you for taking the time to explain all of this to us. What's up, Tony? So I'm happy that you touched on services. I fully comprehend, you know, the luxury business, and when it comes to like a tangible good and attaching an NFT to a Rolex, or even providing, you know, artwork in exchange for a vacation property. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a wellness instructor. So my service is not tangible whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So for me to create an NFT and to get a yoga student to buy it, I just don't understand the twist in it. Why would a yoga student or somebody who's doing personal coaching and going through this like personal development space would be interested in buying an NFT of, let's say, for example, photos of me done by a professional photographer somewhere in Jamaica, when they have access to pictures of me on my social media? Is it that they're they're going to own a piece of me, or what type of NFT would they even be interested in? And who am I, right? This is the other question. Who am I that they're going to want to buy my NFT, and what is the value of it anyway? I can mint it, but who's deciding what the value of this NFT is if I'm not Snoop Dogg or Eminem or Rolex?
Can I interrupt here?
Yes.
Because here's an idea, and this is just my brain going this route, but I'm sure there's many. Okay, you said it yourself, right? Well, I'm not Snoop. You know, is it a photo of me? Why would anyone want a photo of me? Okay, you said you're a yoga teacher, so you could offer as an additional value to the NFT holder, you could offer something called utility. Utility is the added value that you give with the token. So you could do an online course that's pre-filmed already. And so really that's what the value they're getting out of it, but they're getting an NFT, a digital art. So instead of maybe being digital art of you, maybe, I don't know the yoga that you do, but let's just say, what's the name of it, if I may know?
Soul City.
Soul City. So then maybe the art could be something that represents that particular type of yoga that you do, you know, something that represents the culture of yoga. And so the NFT is not about you, it's about the service you're trying to sell. So if it's yoga, then maybe you could do, you know, this really cool, you have a designer do something really cool that's to do with that. But then the added value, AKA the utility, is the actual course itself. So
or now it could even be, I'm sorry, it could be a signature pose. You know, you have a signature stretch, they have the lotus. You can do a lotus video of you doing a really difficult pose for the lotus as an NFT. And people that are into yoga be like, wow, she executed that amazing. I love her service. I love what she did. I will not only buy the NFT because I would want to keep that video of that lotus pose, but I also she's giving me 5 hours, 1 week of the classes through the NFT.
Okay.
How about, hang on, so I went with my wife last night to some yoga class, and it was a sound immersion program as well, okay? How about you partner with your sound immersion person, and they get a sound immersion along with your yoga, they get the class or whatever, but they understand the yoga, what they're supposed to do, go through the process. Or if you're training, maybe that's how you hand out your plan, your training plan for them, so that they know where to go with it. The other way to look at it too is you could take it and maybe you create a virtual room in Decentraland. And as part of that, anybody who has joined you, you have a yoga studio in Decentraland, and you can bring people in from around the world now to participate in what you're doing.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love that. I love that.
I'm sorry, I that took it up to Decentraland notch, but honestly, that's
you're good. You're right on it. That's actually good, because let's say you're in Decentraland, you have a pair of VR goggles, you could get some Oculus for $200. You're doing VR yoga, and you have an admission ticket through your NFT. And your NFT could not only be a pose, it's also be a wellness logo. You know, those geometrical wellness logos could be your NFT art.
And there's another group I met recently, and they have the ability to issue tickets on jackets or wearables and allow you to get into an event or into a studio. So there's ways that you could do that as well, and looking forward. And that also then applies to whether or not it's fashion or whatnot. I mean, we're talking to them about that as an opportunity. So you have a number of different ways. You just kind of got to be creative and start. I'd run down to Decentraland for no good reason other than it's a trip. And then, try not to have too many drugs. Or you're a yoga teacher. When you get down there, have a look around, venture off and realize some of it's whack. You can find a Banksy down there. Go into the Sotheby's studio. There's an original Banksy in there. So, and the only way you can buy it is if you go to Decentraland and go through their studio and get the link and the coupon code.
Yes.
So it's the same principle that you were discussing earlier, Chris.
I love that idea that you're offering something unique, like a sound bath, for example, that they're not receiving in a regular class. So already the artwork, the NFT, is something special for them that they're receiving. And then that it also gives them access perhaps to something exclusive, and that they can only access that exclusivity with the purchase of this. And that's, I love that you guys helped me kind of wrap around, because I can understand like a unique sample of a song can turn into an NFT super easy. And then, so let's say we do take this structure and this works. What about the value of the NFT? How does the value of this NFT keep on increasing? So if we put it at a specific value of, let's say 250 USD, and it gives you some sort of exclusivity pass for certain events. So just for the fact of what it's worth and the benefit you're going to get off it. But then how do we get past that 250 mark and then have the NFT's value continue to increase?
Not all
That
NFTs.
is the goal, right? Eventually to have it be worth more.
Well, not all NFTs are going to function that way, though.
Mm-hmm.
If the NFT is a ticket or to an event or a specific option, it's expired. It's done once you've attended the event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other NFTs can accumulate, and you know what? Sometimes it isn't even about. So let's say you do the sound bath. It isn't about how if it accrues or increases in value, because you're going to get royalties every time it's sold.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, now it goes from one person to 1 million people, and you're getting, 5%, 10%, whatever your number is, you're getting a royalty off of that every time it gets sold and reused.
So it doesn't have to continue increasing in value. It can also be to sell in volume.
Yes.
That's another strategy.
You can always do it as volume. And your price points are different. But if you're doing a sound bath, maybe you want 1,000 of those going around. Because you know what? Somebody's doing it one week, and the next week they don't care about doing a sound bath because they're on to CrossFit.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm just using a bad example, but people change, right? They go, I'm not this Zen this week. So next week I'm going to be spastic.
Right.
That's pretty much me. So I understand.
Right. Thank you guys for your time in exploring this world of wellness with me through the NFT.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing adventure because a lot of people right now, they think they're probably late into the NFT game because you not only could buy to resell or collect, but just like I tell any of my friends or colleagues or Cleveland co-workers that this technology is really new. So it's up to us to pioneer it and make it big. So great minds like us that we're getting together and kind of talking about what we could do it's going to be up to us to show other people, be it our neighbors or friends, that all the possibilities that they exist within this blockchain project.
I'm gonna jump in. I have a question. Let's say that I've got a product which is a service and it's $10,000 on my formal website. What would you ticket that item as an NFT? And let's say somebody buys that ticketed item as an NFT and they sell it to another buyer. What then becomes of my service? Do I pump up the value? What happens then?
They won't be able to redeem your service because I believe how I think it was touch based earlier. It's just a one-off thing. So if the service was offered once and they already redeemed it, the link's no longer going to work. They could keep the art, and the art could go up in value. And I'll give you a perfect example. Earlier, I was telling you guys about AMC. I'm not sure if you guys heard, but AMC released NFTs for the Spider-Man movie. I think it was December 10th. So if you pre-ordered your tickets in advance, I think the first 150 customers were able to get not only their ticket to the movie, but they were also issued an NFT artwork from the Spider-Man movie. And that became highly collectible. So now that the NFT was able to say give you admission to the movie, if somebody gets to resell that token, which it has a few times already, I think that usually goes for 8,500. They're not allowed to see the movie anymore, but they keep the token.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else have any more questions?
I just had a thought here.
Sure.
Because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs on here thinking, okay, so how can I create an NFT out of my service? Right? That's obviously the $1 million question. And I think that there's a couple ways to go about it. But understanding, number one, I think it was Mark who said not all NFTs have to go up in value. Some NFTs are just for rarity, right? Others is just the actual art itself. Others are the emotional attachment to that others it's a collector thing. I mean, many reasons why people are going to want to buy these NFTs. But then, as I added earlier, you can the NFT can have utility. Utility is the rights that you have in addition to the actual asset, or in other words, the art, which can be, as I mentioned, an online course. It can be events that happen, that meetups, that you're gonna have access to. For example, the board yard apes, this, one of the biggest NFT that's out. These guys buy because you don't just have the art of the monkey, but you have access to the network who bought it. Every NFT holder networks, they do events every year in yachts and super private stuff, so they added that value, and really that's why they sell for that much, and which is why people are buying them. They're like, well, I invest $200,000, I'm gonna be able to go elbow with elbow with these other people who bought it, which can be an artist, can be a high-level entrepreneur, could be your next business partner, etc. So the key is to have creativity and figure out what else can you offer in addition to the art. Number one, what is the art? But I think in some cases, not all, but in some cases, the value that's given to the art just makes a lot more sense for the buyer. So that's where we have to get creative about what can we offer them in addition to doing it. Another cool example that I'll give out there, I was just talking to a friend of mine. I mean, think about how many people are trying to get their business out. Let's say you're trying to start a business. It's going to be a restaurant business. So you're trying to launch your studio, your yoga studio, right? And you're going to need funding for it. You're going to need $1 million. Well, before you'd have to go to the bank, get a loan, pay interest, right? And kind of be a slave to that. Now you can say, hey guys, I need $1 million. So I'm going to sell 100 coins of $10,000 each. So you sell an NFT, right? But in the agreement, it says that they're part owners of your studio. So as the studio launches, right, you have the $1 million, you fund it, you launch the studio, and then the revenue of the studio itself is going to everyone who bought the coin, right? So I've seen this recently with an artist who needed money to fund his, he was launching an album and he didn't have the money, and he didn't want to involve Sony or these other record label companies. So he sold tokens, right? And if you bought a token, you're basically buying into his vision, into his album. And then of course, if the album hits Spotify and it goes crazy in iTunes and it reaches millions of views, then that album is getting paid for every listen on Spotify, on YouTube. And everyone who bought that token now is generating income because of that success of that idea that they invested in. Follow me? So you can also use this idea to fund projects, to launch projects. It doesn't have to be art. It doesn't have to be this thing that we think an NFT is. It's a lot broader than that. And I think it can be used to fund projects. It can be used, to give additional benefits. In addition to the actual asset. So there's tons of opportunities out there, and you just have to keep, brainstorming and ask questions to people. Hey, would you buy this if it had this and this? How much would you buy it for? How much could you pay for it? And figure it out. A friend of mine, I don't know if I can share my screen on here or not, but a friend of mine recently released an NFT. It's called the Coalition Crew. But Chris, can you share my screen real quick, or allow me to share?
Are you allowed right now? It says multiple participants can share. So I think you can share.
There you go. So this is a friend of mine's NFT. It's called the Coalition Crew, and he is selling 7,000 NFTs. The artwork itself is these little cheetahs that you see here, right? And so every time you buy an NFT, number one, you're helping to save the cheetah, because there's only 7,000 cheetahs in the world. So these guys are like going extinct, right? So there's an emotional factor too that you could add. In this case, you buy an NFT, you're helping the cheetah. There's only 7,000. Number two, by buying this NFT, you're gonna have access to. He's like a big influencer online. He brings people like Robert Kiyosaki on the show. He interviews them, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, all these elite entrepreneurs. And you have access to his courses. You have access to these interviews. And now these guys got pretty big. Now they have NBA players, NFL players, people who bought into it. Why? Not because of these funny looking cheetahs, but because of everything they're going to learn by buying it, because it gives you this course. You're going to get all these interviews. You're helping the cheetah. They have also a very active community on what's called Discord. Discord is like an Instagram. So every time they buy, they all go into this Discord or this Instagram group chat, right? And he keeps giving more value, right? So for example, in your case, you said about your studio. What if I bought an NFT, you made me part of this Telegram group or Discord group, and you give additional tips there that you normally wouldn't if they just bought you the regular course, you know? And this is basically what this done. This is, I think, a pretty cool example. These cheetahs sold when they began for about $300. And now the floor, I think, has them like at $800 each. And this just happened a month ago. So yeah, and this is just a young couple, right? Young couple who decided to have this vision for something that they truly believed in. He already had the courses. He already had the networking thing going on, you know, so it just kind of made sense. And he's crushing it. He's already sold 4,000 of these roughly at about, now I think it's like $800. So if you do the math, that's millions and millions of dollars. But also it's doing something good, right? They're helping the cheetahs. So there's another idea there. Just wanted to share.
Yeah, and also if you sell your own products, you could attach them to your NFT.
I love that, Tony. Thank you so much for that example. It hit home perfectly.
No worries. Just so much options, right?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, that's the cool thing, that we all get to see this together, that we all kind of get to experience ourselves. It helps us guide us to what we want to do, because obviously we're all entrepreneurs. We're not only do we offer goods and services, but now we have a better way to keep our own identity with our own products without having to rely on the eBays, the Amazons, the Walmarts. This way we kind of level out the playing field by having to issue our own creative, flow to our customers. All right, perfect. So we did go over 26 minutes from the hour we had planned, but I mean, this conversation got really good and it got better as time came along. So if you guys don't have any further questions, I mean, now that you guys are set up on the Meet Me, even here on the chat, if you guys want to network or exchange information, you guys are more than happy to happy to do so. There's no problem. We don't try to harvest any data or anything like that. And then we have something planned for the future, maybe in a month or so, just so that we could see also how we're doing the shirts. But I'm available. You could contact us directly through Verify if you have any. I mean, our email's on there. You could contact us through Meet Me as well, or you could even contact us through MISLUX. This way, if you need any help with certain things as minting the NFT, or maybe you have a question, feel free to shoot it, because I feel that the more we grow this group, the better we kind of start testing out new services, new products, and new types of format that we could implement the NFTs with.
Chris, I sent you a message on LinkedIn. I'd like to talk to you from a business perspective about partnering with a certain regards. I'd like to understand your model a little more, though.
Yeah, for sure. We'll take time for that. No worries. LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, I hit you up there, so don't worry. Apparently went to UCLA. Tony, are you in the U.S.?
I'm actually in Mexico.
Okay, so anybody in the U.S., be a little bit more cautious before you go down and throw an NFT out as a business. Just because we have different rules, regulations, and you might want to look into a DAO or something just putting it out there.
Yeah, I think as you were touching base, yes, if you're going to be doing crowdfunding, yes, I would look into the law of the crowdfunding, especially because It's not too scrutinized, but there's laws that are changing. But for right now, for what we're doing and what we're starting with, I think there's still a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I just don't want anybody to jump in and think they can.
Yes, yeah. But remember, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is more in an educational purpose, so that you can kind of learn where other companies or other entrepreneurs are doing currently with NFTs, how we're implementing the technology, what we're using it for, and how we could also profit from it. Because in the long run, we want to profit from our work and our creative work as well. So again, if you guys if you guys enjoyed the meeting and you guys want to have a little bit more, yeah, feel free to send us messages. Maybe if you want to give us a heads up on a topic you want us to touch. I'm gonna try to be personally a little bit more involved than my team is. This way, while we're working on, you guys get to see it grow as we're growing as well.
Cool. How can we find you? For those that don't know, Chris, what would be the best way to reach out?
I think the best way to reach me out, if you guys want to, let me put my email on here in the chat so you guys can save that. I'm going to give you my personal email. And on here, feel free to email me. If you want to look at our Instagram for the products that we deal with, you could, this should be able to, is at MISLUX with the Y. On there is where we do the authentication for a lot of these products. So depending on the product that we sell, be it a watch, handbag, if it's a high caliber item, we do a 3D scan. So we do the services not only for the customer, but we also do it for certain items that we know have a high resale value and they're gonna keep on going up. So through there, you're gonna see that every item that you sell, you're gonna have an option to also attach the NFT to it. Through our site, yes. And we're also working on our own blockchain tokens. We do have, I believe we have right now about 10 million auth coins that we're gonna try to attach to our products as well, so that when you do buy an item, you know, you get allocated a coin to use for utility for authentication as well. But that's gonna come along the line. That should be released this summer. But we'll stay in touch, guys. Now that you have my email, now that you have one of our Instagram accounts, we have the other one, which is Verify@2. You could also contact us through here.
Cool.
But my email is the best bet.
Thanks.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming again. If you guys want to leave a message on the chat room, we recorded this session, so we're going to upload it to our YouTube and our channel. This way you could reference it anytime in the future. And if you have any topics that you want us to discuss in the future, feel free to leave them there. My email's out there. Thank you so much for coming, and have a beautiful evening, and enjoy your game tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's right.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks a lot. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
You guys.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Pleasure to meet you guys.
You too.